So I wanted something to change. The landlord was to look at my income. He knew that he was taking a risk with me. Somebody contacted me from United States saying, we're interested in your property, we're coming for 1 year. So he booked the house for a whole year, but he paid 6 months up front.
What was the total value of that booking? Claire, I mean, it's always a mad one when you spend all this time on Zoom together and you don't meet that person. So we are meeting officially today.
Yeah,
Good
first
to meet
time.
you.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about yourself and what you was doing before this.
So I come from Chile. I moved to the UK about 3.5 years ago, working in the software industry. And frankly, I was getting a bit tired of it. And I realized that I wasn't really loving it. And then I found out about property investment, and I really started feeling really passionate about it because I love interior design. I love I don't know, I love properties in general. So I didn't know what kind of strategy I wanted to go for, but then I came across some of your social media rent to rent ads, and I thought I would give that a go. And
Sure.
yeah.
So, sounds really good. So you're from Chile?
Yes.
That's cool. What's it like out there?
Well, it's warmer.
Yeah. Yeah, literally.
Yeah, it's warmer. Yeah, different. I think people socialize differently in South America. So that was a little bit for me, it took a while to get used to the culture here. But yeah.
So you're based in London.
I'm based in London.
How long have you been here?
3.5 years.
3.5 years. So before you was in Chile.
Yeah.
What's the property game like in Chile?
So I actually already I have a couple of properties in Chile, but it works differently. I think the market there is not as mature. Obviously, we don't have as much tourism as you would find in London, for example. And yeah, the properties here increase in price every 10 years. They duplicate their value. It's not the same in Chile, and also I feel like there is more space for more houses, new builds and stuff, whereas London kind of has this older properties that they refurbish them, but it's always like it's rare to come across a new build, for example, which to me was different, something new. Yeah.
Sure. So, I mean, so 3.5 years ago you moved here, which is fantastic. And then before property, you had a really good job, right?
Yeah.
What was you doing?
So I was working in the software industry, which is a very profitable industry. I was working in sales. So yeah, because it's a profitable industry, it was hard for me to take the step and move away from that world and do something completely different that I had never really done before.
Yeah, sure. And that just for the mindset of, like you say, earning quite significant money, you're in London, you've moved here for opportunity. Like, can you just talk me through that transition of when you decided to make that jump and be like, do you know what, I'm going to do property? And when was that?
So I found myself working long hours. Yes, I was making good money, but I thought this is not really how I see myself in the future. I eventually want to have my own family, and I don't want to be stuck to a job that is requiring so many hours of my day. I want to do something different, just as profitable, but I want to have time for myself. I want to have more freedom. I joked about wanting to retire. I'm only 33 now, but I was constantly thinking, oh, I just want to retire. And yeah, so I wanted something to change. I didn't want to keep up with that.
Sweet.
Pace.
So you decided it was going to be property. You, like, when you first heard of rent to rent, what was going through your mind?
I thought, no, I don't want to do rent to rent. It's going to be another job. It's just going to take so much of my time. I thought I wanted more of a passive income. And really, I think I was afraid of it not working out. What if I rent a property and then nobody rents it from me? What if I don't get guests and then I'm stuck with this expense and I can't afford that? So I had so many doubts, I was afraid of it not working.
How did you overcome that then? Because your first deal was not a small deal, was it?
Yeah, no. So I before I came across Simon Smith online, I had joined another training course which was very broad. It touched on many different strategies, and I think I was a bit overwhelmed. And then when I found your training material, I thought, right, this is going to give me some focus. I'm going to go through this and I'll just see how it goes. And I was hearing so many experiences from different people that it had worked for them, and that it could be more passive than what I thought it would be, that it would be a lot more profitable than what I thought it would be. And then I thought I'd give it a go. I still felt like attracted to the idea of an Airbnb and how I could make a house really beautiful and host guests, and that to me it sounds like a nice thing to do. I feel quite passionate about it. So yeah, I guess I overcame all of the fears that I had then.
Perfect. So we started connecting, you went through the resources, yada yada, you're out there in London, which is not an easy market. How did you come across your first deal?
So I went on Open Rent and I started looking for loads of properties that were like you recommended actually in one of your videos. If you're in a busy area like London, you're gonna have a lot of competitors if you go for a 1 or 2 bed. So try to focus on a house first of all, because it'll be like a freeholder, and try to go for 3 or 4 bedrooms so that you have less competitors. So I started dreaming and started looking for houses that were really, I thought were not achievable for me because they were more expensive, obviously. And yeah, I saw this house that was perfect. It had everything. It was a massive house. It was really well located, 4 bedrooms, in a very demanded area. And yeah, I thought like, I'll just give it a go. We'll have, there's nothing I have to lose. Worst comes to worst, like he'll say no, and that's it. And I reached out and the landlord was really happy to move forward. The very next day I reached out.
Wow. What's the guaranteed rent on that?
Yes, 5K
Oof.
monthly. Yeah.
5K, so not a cheap deal.
No, and it's not something that I can afford. Like if the landlord was to look at my income,
Yeah.
Or my company's income, which there was no history because it was my first one, he knew that he was taking a risk with me, and that I had no way of guaranteeing that rent as a personal guarantor. Yeah, he took a chance with me.
He took a chance and it's paid off. And
Yeah.
there was quite a lot of work. So it was like this gem,
Yeah.
but it did need polishing, would you say?
Yeah, absolutely. It took a month of cosmetic refurb. It was a massive Victorian house, really high ceilings. It was beautiful, the house, but it really needed love. It was not looking great.
Sweet.
I would say, no.
And it was in West London.
Yes.
Brilliant. So you've done that really nervy time, committing to that $5,000 and the works, etc. And just giving a nod to your esteemed partner because it was definitely a team effort. What happened next?
So after we left the house ready, before the house was ready, I did this dummy ad on Airbnb just to see, just to start getting bookings, and it started performing. And yeah, 1 or 2 months into the deal. Then I got a contact from a guy. I published the property not only on OTAs but also on longer term platforms like Zoopla, Open Rent. Somebody contacted me from United States saying, we're interested in your property, we're coming for 1 year. And that was so sweet. That was amazing.
Wow, what a feeling.
Yeah, because he booked the house for a whole year, but he paid 6 months up front.
Sweet. And I keep asking you this, but I just love this so much because I just know how sort of challenging it was and how much of a big leap of faith that you had to take, and everything was on the cards here. You'd left a great career on good money. You put all your investment into this deal. It had to pay off, and the universe I have to say this, what was the total value of that booking?
So the total value was, I can't remember really, but the up payment of 6 months was 50k. So in total it was just below 100k.
Wow, just below 100k. And that was how long from when you got the keys to that booking, would you say?
So I got the keys on the 10th of April. That booking starts in August. So I rented the property from mid June, was it?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So it's been like 3 months on OTAs.
Yeah.
Booked at 85%.
Yeah.
Doing really good revenue.
Perfect.
And
so cash flow wise, obviously that's a big revenue. I know you've had some double figure months. What's been your biggest sort of monthly profit to date?
So profit, about 3k more or less.
From one deal?
From one deal in 1 month.
In 1 month?
Yeah.
Beautiful. Okay, brilliant. Well done. So I can't believe this, but you actually entered the first class of one deal.
Yeah.
So basically, when you get 100 grand of revenue or 10 grand a month, you enter the first class, which is fantastic. So you just skipped takeoff and just went straight to first class. So just a few final questions then. So I think a big problem people have is when they do have that doubt and they do need to make that leap of faith, whether it be to get educated or whether it be to do the deal, they can hesitate and they cannot get the results that you've got. What was it that made you cross that threshold to then get the success?
I must say I took this deal with a little bit of fear because of what it meant if I was to fail. But you gave me a piece of advice that really made me feel more clear about it, which is I am willing to risk a certain amount of loss, but the chances of winning are like what I can win is so much higher.
Sure.
So I'm willing to risk 5k if I can make 10 or 15k. So yeah, I'm willing to do
or
that.
100.
I can try it, or 100. Yeah. So yeah, I think it is a bit scary, especially if it's your first one. But yeah, I did a lot of analysis. I had faith that it would work, and just go for it.
Brilliant. Well, what's next for you then?
So what's next is I'm trying to scale up. I think now, because the first one was so successful, I'm a little bit more picky. So it's taken me a bit more time to do the next one. But yeah, I'm looking for my next deals. I might source some, I might take some for myself, but
perfect.
Yeah.
And if you was to give somebody watching a big piece of advice, what would it be?
Oh, you put me on the spot on this one. Big piece of advice is think big. I think that's the biggest piece of advice. I was going for much smaller properties, not as well located, but the rent that I could afford. And then I thought, well, why not try this one that is amazing? Why not? Like, worst that can happen is I get a no and then I move on with the next one. But it was a yes and it changed my life. So think big.